What's up? Time to level up. Israel Gaming back with another arcade video. And I get a "ya" in the comments. Anyways, my real gamers, we're going to go ahead and celebrate an entrepreneur in the home arcade from the name of Laramie Griffith, Retro530. That man's put in work in this community, my real gamers, as he has shops on Etsy, and he also has a website, retro530.com, where he sells different products for you to enjoy, like lit coin door options. He has a standard lit coin door option, and he has more of what I would call a deluxe style coin door option, where it's push to start credit, illuminated. This one has the Mortal Kombat to match the deluxe machine that it's going on. Back to the iconic arcade Street Fighter 2 release that's coming soon, that Retro530 himself has something to do with, as he is also working with Iconic Arcade and Media 1-Up John D to put the lit coin door feature on the new cabinets. Talking about getting your work done and working your way up through the ladder. Deserves it, and shout out to Laramie Griffith, Retro530. Keep up the amazing work, my friend. And I'll top it off that we're also waiting on the Nintendo Cab from GIJoelGaming himself. Yeah, another entrepreneur in this home arcade community deserves a lot of respect. Amongst the grandfather himself, GRS, Glenn's Retro Show, with his FU Cab. If you're not supporting any of these three gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you, because if you're a part of this home arcade community, you will know those three names. Yeah! Can I get another "ya" in the comments? I'm gonna go ahead and install the Retro530 Mortal Kombat Midway style lit coin door push credit from Retro530. Let's go ahead and get started, and stay tuned for more Israel Gaming. Nostalgia strikes back every other weekend, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the bad guy Mike Worley, stock jock from Arcades Anonymous, and his son, none other than Narwhal, and myself, Israel Gaming. Yeah! Stay tuned for more of that as we talk nostalgic movies, video games, series, comic books, toys, you name it. If it's nostalgic, we got you covered. Yeah! Alright, let's get this coin door started, man. We're gonna have headgear on so you can get a first-person view as if we were doing it together.
Let's go ahead and start with some of the things you need, and actually the things you get in this package of Retro530's coin door. Alright, I'm going to show you what you get in this package. Alright, you get the power Y splitter. You get the encoder wire splitters for the button to connect to the coins, or the push buttons to actually function. And this right here is for the actual light itself, the LED that connects to the Y power splitter that connects to your arcade 1-Up. Alright, so those are the three main components in this package. He sends you sometimes some merch. It can be a keychain, a lanyard. In this case, it's like a Coke can holder. You know, I'm not sure quite sure the full name of it is, but it's pretty cool. It keeps your hands nice and dry, and your your drink's still cold. All right. He gave us a Retro530 holographic sticker. I'm not sure where I want to put this, but I like this. I may keep this intact like this. He gave me different options as far as the nameplate for the Midway Mortal Kombat sign in the front. He gave me a black and red gray option, and then he gave me a black, white, and red option, which I think this is the one I'm going to go with, the black, red, and white. And then he gives you the main coin door itself. This is a newer mode and newer model. It's in the plastic right now, so let me zoom in so you can see. Very well detailed, and it's a good molding. Pretty awesome. Alright, lastly, Sorry for that, my real gamers. He gives you the actual buttons. He gives you a set of two. The choice of artwork for this cab is the Mortal Kombat right here. Push to start. This is gonna look very nice. Very well made. These are the components. The light features and the push to start feature right here. These are what connects to all the Y splitters right there. And the buttons go right there. And then we're going to be needing a 1 1/8 hole saw. You need to be able to cut at least 25 millimeters, two holes right where the coin door lights would be. So you take the arcade one up, one out, and immediately take the plastic film or unscrew the plastic film in front of the cabinet coin door itself, and then you use a marker, make two little points, and then you drill the two holes. So that's why you would need a Sharpie, and to be safe when you're unscrewing things, instead of using that big boy power drill, even though it has settings on it, just mind your settings and you'll be all right. But for me, I like to be safe and go with a normal hand screwdriver. All right, so this is a very straightforward, pretty simple mod. I just wanted to show you what came in the package and what you needed for the process. Be patient and take your time, because with this kind of 1 1/8 hole saw, if you're not careful, you could really mess up your cut. So be easy with it. All right, let's get started. All right, now the very first thing we do is grab a screwdriver and remove the back panel of the arcade unit so we can get to the screws and remove the coin door. Yeah! Every coin door that you receive from Retro530, he gives you written instructions right here. I'm going to go ahead and continue the video, but I'm going to leave this on the screen so you guys can read it, where all the components go and all the mechanisms. All right? Thank you. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. And smash all notifications for whenever you see an Israel Gaming content video released. Oh, wow, that's shiny. The doors go in and out. That's really cool. Let's go ahead and unscrew. Let's take out the light mechanism. That's what the light fixture looks like. You're gonna unscrew the backing. This is what's gonna hold the coin door on to the machine. You can use like you know, sticky tape or some really good vinyl glue or something to glue it on, but I feel that with the buttons themselves and the lock and screw they give you with them, there should be no problems. Look at that, like a glove. That looks really good. And then you screw them on in the back after you get them on the machine. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna get both of them screwed on, and then we're gonna start putting all the fixtures on. The Y splitters for the power, for the encoder button wires, and for the actual coin button LED wires themselves, the Y splitters for them. So we're almost done. The hard part was done, which was cutting the holes on the cabinet. All right, let's get it. You may need 2 people for this. Be very wary on that. What you do is you match up the line of the holes and you put them in there. I'm gonna try to get a good angle of the camera to get that in there so you guys can see it, of them going in. All right, got one in. All right, after we get the buttons secure on the back, the next thing to do is to grab our screw bolts and go behind the cabinet inside and screw them on so they can tightly hold the plate and button in place. And after that, we're going to put the name plate for the Midway sign on here, the red, white, and black one. And we're almost done, my real gamers. The next thing after that is going to be the controller deck. We're going to get under the hood and we're going to unhook the player 1 and 2 credit buttons, unhook them from the encoder board, and then we're going to start adding the Y splitters to the buttons and the LED buttons to the Y splitter for the power. Alright, we're almost done. Yeah! Alright, we're inside the cabinet now, and what we're going to do is we're going to screw both of these on. I already got the first one right here screwed in. Let's go ahead and tighten these up. You don't have to go too crazy because it gets tight pretty fast. Alright, once it doesn't want to give no more, you guys are on there. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna hit up the controller deck right there and start unhooking the wires to add the Y splitters. Now quickly we start to unscrew all these screws, which I already started to do them because this part's pretty tedious. Take all the screws out. Get the last one here for you guys. Right. Go ahead and set them down in the box. All right, we're back up here. We don't things first. We lightly move the lid, and if this is a stock arcade 1-up deluxe and you haven't modded it or anything yet, you're gonna have to unhook the bottom of this controller deck here. You see there's gonna be 6 screws and all that. You're gonna want to unplug the ribbon cable from the actual box before doing all this. That way you can actually take the whole controller deck out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna go ahead and fast forward to where all these screws are off and the back is off. All right, we're back. Looking at the bottom of the controller deck, we just removed the hood. We need to unhook the credit button 1 and 2 button right here, the white buttons. When everything's said and done, we're still going to be able to be using these 2 buttons in tangent with the credit buttons from the coin door. So we're just hooking Y splitters to each button. So in all, there's going to be 4 buttons. All right, let's go ahead and follow these wires, because everything's all zip tied nice and neatly, and I want to keep it that way. So they're the gray ones, the gray and the black, so it'd be right here. And a lot of these arcade 1-ups are very much glued up, and you can see all that. I'm gonna go ahead and try to keep the camera steady, but all that orangey yellow substance on these connections are really glued up. So just wiggle nice and carefully, and it will start to give. All right, see, that was real simple, and it's the same matching color as the button. See, the gray and the black, gray and the black. So we're gonna leave this unhooked because we're gonna hook the Y splitter to that. All right, quick little note with all these encoder wires right here. The blue set is gonna be the set that connects to the actual buttons themselves. As you can see, the connections to the buttons, and the ends of these are gonna connect to the Y splitter, which is this connects to the power. All right, so I just wanted to give a quick note on what we're doing. All right, let's go ahead and hook up the buttons to the encoder. And we're back under the controller deck, and we're gonna be hooking up these Y splitters onto the bottom of the coin buttons. All right, let's go ahead and get the hard one first, because that one's right here. And I'm gonna try to do my best not to wiggle the head cam and get this right the first time. Be gentle, gentle. That blue wire's in my way. It's gentle, gentle. It's looking like we're good to go. And we're good to go. We're in there. That's in there. There we are. And that one's in there. Awesome. So this is how it should look when you have those connections. And to keep the same credit buttons still functional, the credit or the white credit button 1 and 2 buttons functional, what you do is you hook it up to one of these connections. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's mimicking the button. See, that's connected. So that button's still connected to everything, and the bottom right here is gonna hook up to the coin door. All right, let's do this. These mods are fun, man. I love doing stuff like this. Coin doors and marquee mods and controller deck, you know, CPO, like full on like new artwork and buttons and light up coin doors and light up buttons. I think it's awesome. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel about mods and modding some of your cabinets that you get when you purchase them. A lot of people don't want to put extra money into these cabinets. They want to buy them for what they are, and they want them to be amazing. Like, they don't have to put money into them. I understand, but some of us like to tinker and mess around and bedazzle our machines with lights and colors and artworks and different decals and, you know, risers, etc. Just, you know, a lot of us are, you know, small, tall. It don't matter. There's different heights in the community, different ways of comfort. Some people like to play on candy cabs and sit down all the time and play. Some people prefer standing, stools. There's all types of stuff you can do in this hobby. It's amazing. All right, now that we got that already said and done, we are done with this part, and now we can move on to the actual button, coin door buttons themselves, and we're gonna put the fixture in there, and we're gonna start adding the Y splitter wires and cables to them, and then we're gonna connect them to these, and then we're all set. Process is nice and sweet. It's a lot faster than what it seems. I'm just sitting here conversating and chit-chatting with you guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, we're back at the table, and instead of messing around in the back of the cab, we're gonna do all of the light fixtures and the button mechanism right here. That way we can just plug it in and screw it on. Sometimes the light fixture is on backwards, so if that's the case, you unscrew the light fixture right here and you turn it and you put it back in. Okay, simple as that. If it's the wrong end, you turn it, you put it back in, and it should correct the electric flow in the socket right here to work. There you go. So we're gonna have these two connections right here, and we're gonna go grab the light fixture, and we're gonna put one on this side, make sure don't be afraid of it. Go ahead and snug it on in there, and then you snug that one on there too. There you go. So that's on. Let's go ahead and get the other light. Same thing, all right? And like I told you before, if when you go to test this and the connection might be wrong, there's either two possibilities. Either you put these on wrong, or the light bulb itself needs to be turned and reinserted. All right, so that explains everything. Oh, you hear that clicky sound? So amazing. All right, other one goes right here. Don't be afraid of it. Go ahead and make sure the connection's full. There you go. It's in there. That's in there. So now the light fixtures are in there. Let's go ahead and connect the credit button. Now this, the blue and the white wire, is for the actual credit button function. So you slide them on top. There you go. This one is, there you go. It clicks in as well. Don't be afraid of it, man. I mean, I know a lot of things can be brittle and a lot of things can break, but it's meant to have a solid connection, so you want to be in there. See, that's in there. And this is the fixture completed on one side, how everything is going to look. Now, this is why you wouldn't or you couldn't have the back of the controller deck back on, because all these wires wouldn't be able to fit through that unless you pre-drilled a couple of holes through the casing and had the wires come out. I mean, that would probably be more of a cleaner look, but we don't have time for all that. It's always good to have airflow inside your cabinets for controller decks and PCBs and motherboards and all that. You want as much air as you can get in there. All right, so that's completed. Let's go ahead and complete the other side. And after we do this, all we got to do now is go beside the back of the cab, put the buttons in, and finish the connection to the controller deck. And then we're done, my real gamers. We can conclude the video, give our final thoughts, and talk about this amazing product and Retro530. All right. Amazing. Connection complete. Yeah! All right, we're back behind the cabinet, and I forgot to mention that we have the final Y splitter, which is going to the power, the PCB of the cabinet. I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if you can see with the camera. I'm gonna try my very best and put the power in there. So that's in there, the Y splitter's in there. Here's the connection to the back of the cabinet, and here's the main connection. All right, they go into the coin buttons. All right, so we want to put that right in there. There it is. Whew, I was getting worried. All right, this one, and then there you go. Everything's on, everything's good. That's good, and that's going to the power source itself. So this is where you would want to test everything. So you would partially plug in the cabinet, get up enough to where you can check the power and the coin door itself, all right? Back inside the cabinet, and the last things you do is connect the Y splitters from the controller deck to the button, and you also connect the power to the PCB of the cabinet, and those are all your connections, and everything should be good, and you should be able to test everything. Now I'm gonna go ahead and connect and show you how everything should be looking at the end of everything. Hopefully you can see with the camera. I'm trying my best. All right, here's the connection. There you go, you heard a click in. So this is how it should look right here. Everything's connected. The other side's already connected. Now we're gonna grab right here the power cable, and we're gonna go up to, let me see if we can see it, the PCB, and we connect this part right here. Boom, everything's connected to the buttons. Let's go ahead and test this, and if everything's connected right, the buttons should light up with the marquee when the cabinet comes on. All right, smack a like for me, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell for more Israel Gaming content. Yeah! All right, let's go ahead and turn on the machine. And everything should light up. Marquee and buttons should light up together. There it is. Amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Now the last thing to check is to see if credit button 1 and 2 function with the cabinet to start the game. Let's go ahead and get a close-up of the buttons so you can see how beautiful they are illuminated. Wow, look at that. That's amazing, Laramie. Awesome stuff, man, awesome stuff. Keep up the amazing work, man. You deserve all the good praise and support from this community. You, G.I. Joe Gaming, Glenn's Retro Show, all of you guys are amazing and do so much for us. We appreciate it, man. One more yah for you guys. Yah! Now, you can either press the coin in button right here, the white 1 and 2 button, or you can go down to the coin button itself, and this is what the whole point of us doing this mod is, for pressing the coin button itself. Let's go ahead and go down, press on 1. There's player 1. Amazing. Let's try player 2. And there's player 2 right there. Amazing stuff, man. That's awesome. Love this modification. Final thoughts, and we'll conclude this video. Yeah! We're gonna go ahead and put the midway front plate on the coin door real quick, as we forgot to do that earlier previously. So let's go ahead and do that real quick before we end the video. There's the midway logo right there. That looks perfect. Beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. It sets it off just lovely. Concluding this Retro 530 lit coin door push to start option. Yeah! Go ahead and check out Laramie Griffith at retro530.com, where he has lit coin door options. He has marquee options as well, which in the future I may look into for the Ridge Racer cab over there. Yeah! Anyways, my real gamers, I'm going to go ahead and get the new G.I. Joe Nintendo cab built, and we're going to be revealing it on Nostalgia Strikes Back next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I see you there, my real gamers. I hope you're excited, because I know I am. Shout out again to G.I. Joe Gaming for the beautiful cabinet and bringing my vision to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving with all your wonderful family, friends, and loved ones.
I'll check you out in the next video, my real gamers. Remember to keep it real and keep playing. Yeah! Now let's coin in and have some fun, shall we? Scorpion! Yeah! Get over here!